Hello, everyone. Welcome to Secrets of Saltmarsh. This is a Ghosts of Saltmarsh Patreon Greyhawk campaign. You might notice that the overlay is different. Woo! We had a glow up! Yay! It's about time. We've been playing this game for multiple years now, and we finally upgraded. Unfortunately, the web captioner that we used to use, it was kind of not functioning very well, and then they put out this weird update that just reset everything. So it's like, hey, let's just use Google Meets like we do for every other show here. So we are modernized and have a fancy new overlay. So let's get right into it. Shout out to all of our Patreons, everyone that you see here on our screen is a Patreon. Thank you so much for all of your support. Without these people, all the one-shots, marathons, all that stuff would not be possible. If you're interested in more information for what you can get for being a patron, you can check out this link there in the chat. We also have a YouTube. You can find all of our previous episodes of this campaign and our other campaigns over there as well. Or if you want to interact with the game, there's a couple of different ways you can do so. Just by hanging out, lurking, you accrue these invisible, meaningless points that can be transformed into blessings or advantages or rerolls to the player of your choice. So you can redeem those at any time to help someone out. Or if you'd like to change the narrative, every $10 guarantees a draw from the deck of many things to the player of your choice. Some of them are very spicy. It's very fun stuff. Or you can also do a $5 tip to give a natural 20 or an automatic success to the player of your choice. I'm just going to go ahead and say we are on the cusp of war here. There's going to be a lot of battle. It's going to be tough. So I am putting out a warning to my players here to manage your resources well, because you're not going to be able to squirrel away and take a rest or anything like that. So please keep that in mind. You can use !fate for more information about that. So let's jump into it. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and tell me a little bit about the character that you're playing. And we'll start with Emma.
Hi, it's me, Emma, also known as Emma Panada. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Emma Panada. I'm also writing a TTRPG called All the Witches. You can find information about that at allthewitches_ on twitter.com or at All the Witches on Blue Sky, which is like bsky.com.
Do they finally have like a computer portal? Or is it only...
They've had one.
Oh.
It was Hive that didn't have a computer portal.
Oh!
Blue Sky has always had one, yeah.
Oh, okay. We should update these links.
Please
continue.
I guess so, for sure. Yeah, so I'm playing Arlen Ruvala. She is a Triton cleric / warlock. Started as just a cleric, was just a very bright liar that traveled around telling everybody that all of her parents, who were like notable adventurers, that all of their accomplishments were her own, and that she was this like big shot adventurer. And so everybody in the party was like, great, you're our leader because you're so strong and know what you're doing and all of this stuff. And no one's ever questioned it. And now she's the captain of a ship and is involved in this big like war conflict and has like a whole crew, and yeah, it's wild.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, GeekDice will not be joining us today, but I have had a talk with GeekDice. We have some important decisions to make as a party here, and I've already got some consent and information about which way KayBee wants to go with the discussions that we're going to have today. So we're going to pop on over to Tim. Hi.
Hi, I'm GodfatherWraith B_ESG, but you can call me GodfatherWraith, Tim, or pretty much anything you want except late for dinner. I play Garen. He's your average nondescript rogue who used to be part of the Kredican Royal Army, and you know he's just really good at making things dead. Yeah, I really have no other special things going on, so.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We'll pop
Oh.
on over to John. Hi, John.
Hi, Stella. I'm John, also known as Endicarus on the internet. You can find me by that name on most of the social media. And I play Pole of Ammonfort, who is a warlock, but a devotee of the hero god Heward of the magical hand haversack. And he is like his patron, pacifist. He's going to have trouble with this whole war thing that's brewing. But he will do his best to support his friends the only way he knows how, usually standing in front of them to get hit by bad guys.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. This entire time I've been prepping, I was like, what is Pole going to do? It's going to be cool. Thank you so much. And then we'll pop on over to Zombie.
Hello, I am Jacob. I'm Zombie. I am Z. I'm whatever name you to call me. I am the lore keeper and Captain Z of the Good Ship Clip. I've probably done too many clips, so that's up to your own discretion. Today I play Finn Carson, who is a ranger researcher who is doing all the things here, and it'll be fun. And because I have him here this time at the beginning of the stream, is my buddy Bims, and he's my favorite little dragon buddy. And even though he destroyed a book that was meaningless to me, but probably more meaningful to Tully than anyone else, it is fine. Yes. You can, oh, and also, we're gonna see how far in a battle I can go until I fall. Yay! It's gonna be fun.
Someone time it.
Yeah. For those who don't know, or those who are new to the channel, a lot of my very first one-shots on this channel were eventually I would be down, or I'd be dying, and it just became a running gag. So, and I've not disappointed here, although I feel like the longer I've done this game and the other Patreon game, I've actually not gone down as much. So I feel like I'm getting better. Who knows? But if you want to support me in any possible way on Twitter at ZombieFighter89, there's a pinned tweet there made by the lovely Lady May. I do video editing, audio editing, Twitch clipping. I actually just had gotten done with one of my very first paid gigs for clipping today. So I is happy. I'm always looking for more work. If you or anyone else know anybody, my email is in there. But if we're friends and you want to DM me on Discord about it or Twitter or wherever, that's fine too.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Woohoo! All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. So last time on Saltmarsh, we finally made our way through the rest of the fortress. A harrowing escape. Unfortunately, you did entangle with the Baron, the leader of the Sahagin, but you managed to leave with your lives. On your way back, you had a few things happen, but the most notable thing was that you finally made landfall into Saltmarsh with no problem. And it is there that you met with the council. You reported what happened. And the most important thing is, you lied. You said, as a group, with a brilliant performance from Pole, that the mission went unimpeded, went exactly as planned. They don't suspect a thing. And it is from there that the Saltmarsh Council began to convene, and they spoke of war. It is time to raise arms. Politely, the group of you are asked to leave. They say that they will seek your counsel again soon. They do wish to have you a part of what is to come. But they need some privacy as a council as of this moment. So the group of you stand outside the council hall. The sounds of industry are all around you. A cart rolls by bearing a number of marked crates destined for the mining guild. No one really seems to notice you. They don't really stop to pay attention to the group of you gathered outside of the town hall. You have a decision to make. What are you going to do about this? As you look beyond the cart into the market that you are in, you see that the signs of war are visible. Refugees from the various allies that Saltmarsh has made There are pockets of them here and there in the alleyways, huddled together. You see lizard folk purchasing weapons. You see the various merfolk beginning to gather into the shallows of the docks. They are preparing these viscous, strange orbs that have this glowing quality to them. Something is swirling inside, emitting a very soft light. Perhaps explosives. It's hard to tell. But this is all between the bustling life of Saltmarsh. You see the market still in full throw. You hear people trying to call out, sell fish. It's a busy afternoon. There's very little privacy here. And you have a big talk. What do you do?
Well,
Alright.
gang. Well, what are we all thinking here? What do we want to do? Do we want to join up in arms, or sort of do whatever? I know for sure one of the first things I want to do is check out this house that we now have. It'd be nice to get all settled in there.
Perhaps we could
Yes.
have this conversation in the privateness of our new home rather than here in the streets.
I agree.
No, I agree. That's why I was trying to push that, but yes.
Absolutely. Do we want to go there now? We do have the party tonight, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll have that to contend with, so we should meet before then at the very least.
Yes. I think
Yes.
one of the first things I wanted to do was grab everything off of the ship and then go back to Hannah's to see if I left anything there too, and then bring it all over to the new house. Did we ever? Did one of you get a map or something of where this place is, or did I just go blank on them saying where it was?
They would have told you as the
Okay.
council. Yeah, they wouldn't have just said, like, we've got you a house, and then just left it at that. So you do have in your possession a house deed and a
Nice.
key. So you have
Ooh,
to decide
fancy.
who is going to hold that in the groups. It's not like 5 copies of it. It's one singular piece of paper.
We need to invest in a safe.
Indeed.
That should be easy enough.
I could put it in my haversack. Never lost anything out of there.
That's probably
That's a good start.
probably a temporary good solution. I think.
Whatever safe we choose, I'm going to test that lock before we put anything.
Garen's like the lockpicking lawyer. Being
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, we can't get this one because
He's gonna pen test it.
We'll just have a whole session of just Garen testing every lock in the whole store. Like, nope, this ain't good. Yep, nope, this ain't good yet. Nope, nope.
Amazing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle around the house that is yours. Boop, right
Yay.
there. Right here.
Ooh, okay, that's some prime real estate.
Yeah. You begin to maneuver the streets of Saltmarsh, seeking out your new home. You are currently here at the town square, the town hall at number 14. So you manage to move through the alleyways, avoiding the main thoroughfare, and eventually you do get towards that building. You see that it is 2 stories tall. There is a little bit of grass, but it is like a shared lawn, so there isn't a lot of room to grow anything. Maybe a small garden at most, but definitely nothing akin to farmland. You do see that the building has 2 stories, and there is an open balcony that faces towards the west, because this map, for some reason, north is not
Oh.
up. North is to the left on this map.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so there's a balcony that faces west. So that would mean you would be able to see the sun setting over the water at night. So it's a
Oh,
very
that'd be-
beautiful vantage point.
And
That's
also
nice.
can see the pier. See the
Yeah.
docks.
You can see the various ships. You will be able to see the various ships coming into the bay. As you
Yeah.
approach, you do see that it does need some maintenance just right away. The hedges haven't been trimmed. You see that there are weeds growing everywhere. And there is a sheen of dust covering the windows and some cobwebs that are gathered. It seems that there hasn't been much love put into this domicile for some time. It looks abandoned. You see there's a small hole in the roofing.
Council
that's
just
nice.
gave us a condemned building. They're like,
Right.
here you go. We're
I mean,
so nice.
It's still a nice house, just a fixer-upper, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the hole in the ceiling is something I really want to get to as soon as we can. You know,
Agreed.
rainwater and an entire house don't really mix well together.
I can, before the party tonight, I can go and find some carpenters and tradespeople to work on this as we're doing
I
other
think-
things.
Yeah, I think everything else is
Agreed.
good for now. I mean, we could probably trim the hedges or something in a little while, but they don't seem too outgrown, I don't think.
I like to
Maybe
imagine...
we could use the.
Go ahead.
Maybe we could use that that hole in the roof as part of an eyrie, so we can allow, birds to come in and out.
Perhaps.
Perhaps, but I'm more worried about the wood in our house rotting.
Exactly.
So I like the idea of the birds, but I also like the idea of having a place to live.
Mhm. Right, so important decision time.
Okay.
Are we involving ourselves in this war, or are we going elsewhere? KayBee, I'm interested to know your opinions.
KayBee
Mhm.
stomps up to you and salutes, says, "Yes, Captain."
You're playing him perfectly so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Captain.
Yeah.
And standing at attention with a flourish of his sword, he says that he TLDR supports whatever the group wants to do.
I
You have a way with words, KayBee.
Sorry, GeekDice, you gave me a way more flowery thing to say. I immediately forgot. We needed to write it down. I'm sorry,
Oh,
GeekDice.
dang it.
Write it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. So,
Well, I will say for me, I've done my time as a soldier. I wish them well in their endeavor, but I do not wish to participate in another war.
Yeah, I feel that way. I mean, I haven't been in a war before, but I don't want to. I mean, we live here now, so if they were to attack us, surely we would defend ourselves. But, going on the offense against them and striking at them where they live, I don't feel right about that.
Well, an argument to be made is that they took the home from the lizard folk. So it's not really their home either.
It's true, but I still don't like the going in there and just killing them out there. Feels, I don't know, when does it stop if you start doing that? That's what they did
Yeah.
to the lizard folk. And that's how we got in this mess. We should allow the lizard folk to live here, help them set up a good place that will work for them. I don't know about this, hitting back and who hits first and all that. I don't want to get in that mess.
Yeah, whatever the leader's justification, when it comes down to it, fighting in a war is all about death. That's it.
Finn?
Do you think they'll be good without us?
We've done a pretty healthy chunk to their numbers already, having gone through their base as we did.
'Cause
I think
Go ahead.
As adventurers, our part is not necessarily in war. Our part is in smaller and more controlled engagements, or sometimes more dangerous singular battles, but an all-out skirmish is
True.
the area of armies and nations.
Yes, if they were asking us to sneak in behind their lines and take out their leadership, that I would be for. And real quick, Stella, something I just thought of. Do we know how many troops are in Saltmarsh's army?
You
Or do we
haven't
have an
asked.
Okay.
I would say go ahead and roll me an investigation check, Garen. I imagine this is something that you might have done head counts, just kind of walking
Yeah,
around.
something he would have paid attention to, but not necessarily like completely looked into. So 10.
Okay, 10. Oh, just as a
That's okay.
reminder to my cast here, because I meant to say this before the stream, but with the new overlay, the Roll20 is completely private. So if you want to send messages to each other or anything like that will not show up on stream as a safety thing. Okay, so with thank you.
You asked for it, Stella.
Thank you for that private message. That's very important. Yes. Okay. With a 10 investigation, it's been hard. You haven't seen a concentration of the forces, and there is kind of a scattering of the various people. The Lokatha aren't in the same place as the lizard folk. The lizard folk aren't in the same place as the city guard, for example. And you haven't exactly went in to check Eleander Fireborn or the barracks here in Saltmarsh. So you only have pockets of information, and with a 10, you're not sure. Maybe 50 strong, maybe 75. It's kind of a wild guess.
Yeah.
Can I ask, because this has been a long time ago.
Okay, I can't promise an accurate answer, but I can give you an answer.
At the beginning of the campaign, we were talking about how Saltmarsh was suddenly becoming a very important town that everybody was flocking to, and the king was taking a particular interest in the region as well, and was sending like more troops and people to have like an official like place here.
Yes.
What was the reason that Saltmarsh was becoming so popular?
Yes. So there was a mine discovered outside of Saltmarsh, but pretty close. And that is the big reason why the Miners Guild has set up here in Saltmarsh. Manistrad Copperlocks is on the council and is a loyalist. So they are, you know, as far as you know, loyal to the king. Where Ida Oland and Galen Primewater and Anders Solmore, they are all traditionalists. They lived here, they grew up here, and both Eleander Fireborn and Manistrad Copperlocks were kind of forced onto the council by the king. So the TLDR is gold and silver is the reason.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me either an investigation or insight check, Arlen. Y'all
would
have
love
been
to
here
roll
for
you
a while.
An investigation or insight check.
Yes. Thank you,
Definitely
Schroeder, for the
insight.
$5 for Shern. JK.
Deserved, honestly. Deserved.
Right.
Very much deserved. We love this.
For those of you who don't know Shern is our talking lobster that we rescue.
Yes. Which, if I remember right, if Shern gets attacked, it's automatically a hit and he dies.
Yeah. So, okay, well, Schroeder did say JK make it for Finn, but Finn, do you want this to be like the Hail Mary, like, one-time armor for Shern, just in case?
Hell yes, I
Okay,
do.
okay, great. So Shern can
Every
take
dollar
one
is
hit.
another HP for sure.
Yeah, Shern's at 1 HP and has 1 armor right now.
We're just doing a marathon now.
Okay, with a 14 history, let's see. Okay, you've
Did
kind
I
of
roll history?
It's
I thought I meant
fine.
to do insight.
Is your modifier higher than a 7?
No, it's a 7, but
Or insight?
that's yeah.
Okay, so it's fine.
Okay,
It's still a 14.
it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, with a 14, you have picked up little bits here and there. I think the group of you have been here in Saltmarsh for like a month.
I
Yeah,
think it's been a month.
yeah, it's been about a month, and from the various rumors, the various partying, y'all do a lot of partying, so you pick up rumors, and I can't remember where I was going with this. Essentially, what were we talking about?
Was it about the conflict between the loyalists and the traditionalists?
Yes.
Because that's what we were talking about before. And the king's involvement, sudden new involvement in the city.
Yes. Okay. So you know that the king rolling in here with the loyalists has definitely disrupted not only the peace and quiet that used to be this nowhere town, but also that there seems to be this presence of smugglers and also pirates. You have seen only bits and pieces of them, and you're pretty sure it's because of the presence of the loyalists and the king's army taking up space here at the barracks as well. So not only is it messing with the livelihoods of people who are not used to having throngs of crafters and guildsmen come in, but also the ecosystem, the social ecosystem is disrupted. You're smart enough to know that, yeah, smuggling is a crime, but sometimes smuggling can be a good thing too. And if something's messing with the smuggling, that means whoever was in charge of the smuggling is probably very upset.
Who could that be?
I don't know. He can't possibly be on the council.
Oh.
And plus, it means that some needy people might not be able to get the things that they want because, though, you know, they can't get past the tax blockades. They're paying extra for stuff.
Oh, yeah. So I like to
Well-
imagine the group of you are kind of walking around the exterior of your home here, and just to kind of paint an image of where it's situated, you look over to the northeast, and you can see the very large domicile. You've been there before. That's the home of Anders Solmore, the youngest member of the council. You can see that this complex is rather modest in terms of, like, if you were to compare it to like a capital, like a, you know, a very ostentatious, noble home. But though it's modest, it's easily one of the largest here in Saltmarsh. So it's the least shitty out of all the buildings. The personal mansion has several smaller buildings kind of surrounding it, and there's this tall iron wrought gate around it as well. Can I get perception checks from everyone?
I would love to give you a perception
Right.
check.
Did I read it right?
That's a 20 from Garen, 7 from Pol and Arlen, 19 from Finn. Okay. Garen and Finn, you both notice in the second story window of the Solmore house, Garen, the butler, is peeking between the curtains, watching the group of you walk around your house. That's not the only thing that the group of you see. You see towards the east, a few houses down, is the Mariners Guild Hall that you had gone to, essentially to talk to the folks that are responsible for the lighthouse, and they essentially help sailors get necessary things. And you've actually seen in the time that you've been back that the Mariners Guild Hall is having an active participation in trying to help out the refugees. So you do see clusters of refugees here at the Mariners Guild Hall. Very close to you, across the street almost, is a building that you haven't paid attention to much before. You You see that it's also another mansion. It seems to be a lot more modest than the Solmore house, but you aren't quite sure who it belongs to. And then on the other side here, you smell it before you really pay attention to it. Number 18.
Mm-hmm.
As you had made your way up to the house, you would have definitely seen that this is basically a fish processing building, and it reeks of fish. When the wind
Delicious.
happens to blow northeast, your house just gets like a poof, just a wave of it. You can see that there are folks that are working there, filleting fish and preparing them for selling at the market. So it's very busy over here at the fishmonger
You're telling
plant.
us we need to get a bunch of cats to live in this house. They'll love it.
Ireland loves it. Big fan.
Yeah. Who was it? Ida Olin? I'll bet is who owns the mansion nearby the fishery. So that wasn't she the person who was in charge of most of the fishery?
Yes.
Possibly.
That makes sense. Well, on the topic of war, it seems we don't want to get involved unless perhaps the battles start getting closer to Saltmarsh proper. We have to defend everyone here, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, I mean, I would potentially recommend to the council reaching out to the king for more forces to protect the town, depending on how many are here. Or depending on how many soldiers that they have here. But I agree, this isn't really our place to get involved in large-scale conflict.
No.
Someone should also be here if all the troops is away, and something should happen to the town, like a surprise attack by that asshole wizard or something like that.
That's very true. I could see that asshole wizard
Mhm.
doing that exact thing.
I want to punch him right in the nose.
Yes. If you want, I can try reaching out to Fireborn or Anders, see what they think their prospects are and gauge what they think.
Could you do that this afternoon before the party tonight?
Yes.
I think that is a smart idea.
Fireborn is most likely to know how well their army fares. Anders, I think, would have a good gauge of the rest of the council. So I remember he was more traditionalist, but he wasn't completely. Yeah, I know, cat tail in the face. He was not completely alienating the loyalists. So he might be a good gauge of the council's attitude.
Garen,
Agree.
go ahead and roll me a 1d20.
Oh dear.
Do you want high or low?
You want high.
That means I'm gonna roll low.
It's so
No!
bad. Okay, don't worry about it. That's a nat
boy.
one.
Oh dear.
Hello, kid.
What's gonna blow up in Garen's face now?
Terrifying.
Oh, it's fine. Nothing happens.
That's
What's
great.
Barnacus doing?
As the group of you are having this conversation in front of your home, you haven't entered it yet, but it begins to rain.
All right, well, do you want to go talk to them? I'll go look around for people to work on our house. And
Yes.
everyone else, if you have your own thing you want to do, or if you want to come with one of us, I suppose that's fine.
I'll come with you and help you find the workers.
All right. Thank you.
Any assistance, Garen, or?
Company would be appreciated rather.
Sure, then I'll join you then.
All right. We will go ahead and follow those of you who are going to look for the workers first.
I would like to first, you mentioned that 21 is a house and has a bunch of refugees in it.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
Arlen would want to see if any of the refugees are craftspeople or handy people that need work as like a first stop.
Okay. So you see that the gray clouds begin to roll in. You hear a small peal of thunder far, far in the distance, and it begins to gently rain. It's more of a mist right now. And as you begin to head up the road, the eastern road here, to the Mariners Guild Hall, you can see that this is where you had spoken to the head mariner, the secretary. Both of them are out in the rain and they are trying to provide supplies to the refugees here. They have some tarps set up into these small tents and they are currently distributing food. As you come up, who do you want to talk to specifically? You do see that the leader and the secretary are both out.
How many refugees are there currently being helped?
There are 7 people outside, not including the Mariners Guild folk.
Okay. I think Arlen would just confidently walk up and be like, do any of you happen to be good at carpentry or gardening or anything of the sort? Cleaning even?
Yeah, you come up and the refugees, they turn towards you. You can tell right off the bat, 2 of them don't speak common. 2 lizard folk kind of turn towards each other and they begin to speak, and it's pretty clear that they're confused.
Somebody who wasn't it? What Poe? Were you the one that spoke lizard folk?
No.
Dang
I
it.
talked to them with my illusion thing, and I could try doing that now. I can take out the loot and make a little picture of happy lizard folk working on our roof.
Okay. Go ahead and
And
roll
then
me performance at advantage.
Gold pieces coming into their hands.
Okay, yes. You pull out your magical musical instrument. Roll me performance at advantage. 22.
Incredible.
Nice. What color is this? Do you do this in like multicolor or?
I have an idea of what I want our house to look like, and it's probably a little brighter than other people might want it to be, because he grew up in such a crappy slum, so he wants everything to be really bright. So it's going to be, I think we're going to have a house that's got yellow walls and a bright green roof, the red chimney.
I love it. As you are kind of watching this illusion, Arlen, it's very different from the reality. Your home in its current state is extremely salt-bitten, and it's this really drab, gray, brown color, and just like the literal life has been sucked out of the wood, essentially. Almost unrecognizable besides the bones of it right now. And Paul, as you begin to play your instrument and conjure this illusion, the lizard folk kind of lean in and they look very curious and they're speaking to each other and they nod to you. They're already beginning to get up and gather their things.
Great. I will shake their hands and show them the way. Think we've got some workers already.
All right. And what about the rest of you? Are any of you particularly handy?
So, one of the Locatha speaks up. This individual kind of wobbles up to you, and they are about, let me check their size. Okay, they're medium sized. Okay, they are about 5 foot tall, and this fish person has a catfish like head. You see these long whiskers and these finned hands, and they neatly fold their finned fingers in front of them, and they say, "Well, unfortunately, I don't think that I'll be able to climb up on the building, but maybe I can help with some gardening."
Gardening, of course. There's also, I'm sure, plenty that needs to be repaired that's more ground level. We were just gifted a home by the council, and it's in a bit of a state of disrepair. And so we're looking to hire some folk who need work to help.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. These folks here that have taken up refuge, they're very idle hands. There's not much that we can do. We have been through a lot, displaced from our home, and the burden is heavy. Perhaps some work is what we need. I, for sure, would be very appreciative for the opportunity.
All right.
How much?
She kind of looks at this person and then the two lizard folk. 30 gold each?
You don't have to roll an insight check. You literally see this person's eyes just get wider, and then, I suppose that will do.
All right, perfect. Do you happen to speak lizard folk at all?
One moment. What language do lizard folk speak?
Draconic, I think.
Let's have a look. It is Draconic. I do not.
All right, that's fine. Arlen will, for one, I think leave 20 gold for the other refugees that are there. But then also will kind of work with Pole to bring the other three back and just kind of show them around and point at some of the stuff that needs to be repaired and like worked on. And we'll give them each 30 gold.
Okay. So this whole ordeal of hiring these folks, showing them where the work needs to be done, equipping them with the supplies, trying to just essentially facilitate this this opportunity. It takes about, we'll say, an hour and a half. And once you start getting them set up, we have a ladder that is accessing the side of the house, and the two lizard folk immediately begin to work on the roof with the various lumber and supplies that have been gathered. They seem to be doing pretty decent work. They are very athletic in build and very limber, so they move around with great ease. The Locatha, however, looks at this weeded, gnarly garden that's at the side of your house, and you see that they flare their gills and their cheeks begin to puff up, and then they begin to spit water, and they're just watering the plants. That's all he does.
That's fine. Arlen's probably not paying attention.
Okay.
Paul definitely is. He's got definite ideas of how this could be made into a wonderful place, and he's going to try and give instructions. He'll use his illusion whenever he can to no, more like this, and he's also going to make sure that the supplies are all there. So he'll make sure we order lumber, we'll get nails, we'll get tools, whatever else that people will need to do this job. He's going to go and make sure we get it. He's also going to make sure everyone is well fed, gets lots of breaks. This isn't any like refugee sweatshop job.
Mhm.
We're going to make sure it's all, it's all legit, and it's better pay than anyone ever gets for doing the same thing. And we'll have it catered
Nice.
from the local bar. I'll get them to bring over some food. And of course beer, because everyone drinks beer when they're doing construction, right?
Absolutely. They imbibe in all of the things with great appreciation. The rain does begin to pick up, but these individuals don't seem deterred by it whatsoever. They continue to work. Paul, as you're paying attention to the Locatha gardener, you see that this individual waddles over to the beach, just basically sucks up a bunch of water into their cheeks, and then walks back to your house and continues to spray seawater all over the weeds.
I don't think seawater is very good for it. You should try that, but go over to the river over there. Work a lot better.
The
Maybe we'll dig-
Locatha doesn't answer right away. You see that they continue to empty their mouthful of water, and once they finish, they turn to face you and they fold their fins in front of them, and they say with great seriousness, "It is my intention to destroy these weeds."
Oh, that makes sense. But you sure the salt water won't wreck the soil? I guess maybe we need to replace the soil. That's not a bad idea. I'll start looking into what it will take to haul some new soil over here.
He looks down at the muddy dirt here and kind of kicks at it. I don't know anything about gardening and soil and stuff like that, so I'm going to entrust you with that. And the Locatha says, "Yes, that seems like a good idea." And you do see that the street does essentially thin out. People begin to seek out refuge from the rain and this coming storm. You see the water, the waves begins to stir with some measure of violence, and you see the waves are crashing against the piers, and the storm is growing quite thick. It blots out the afternoon sun, and the area is quite gray.
How's our roof doing? Does it look like they're going to get it done before the evening? I'm thinking of just maybe buying a whole bunch of sailcloth and putting it up there so that we can sleep in here dry tonight.
They have finished.
Oh, great. Bonus! Give them an extra 10 gold each.
Oh, they take it. You can definitely tell. Well, roll me an insight check. Roll me an insight check. Okay, 17. With a 17, you can definitely tell that the gold is a new thing to them. They don't seem to really appreciate or give that wow of the gold that you're giving them. They just kind of shove it away into their pouches.
That's cool. That's what Paul does with it too. He has no concept of what you can even buy for the amount of money he has.
Excellent. So meanwhile, as this is happening, we follow Garen and Finn as they leave. When you're leaving, it's not quite stormy yet. It is drizzling. And your intention is to go to the Saltmarsh Council?
Are they still meeting, or would they have dispersed by now?
If you leave immediately, you would find the doors are still closed.
Oh, well, that
Think-
kind of defeats what Garen was hoping for. He was wanting to meet with them individually, not the whole council together.
So both you and Finn are standing outside the council hall. You get the feeling that you have some time to kill.
All right.
What do you suppose we do for a little bit, I guess?
I don't know. Hadn't thought of that part. You have any ideas?
No, the only thing I'm really thinking of, honestly, is helping you out and then getting stuff set up at the house, I guess. But I don't know how well the construction's going yet, so I kind of want to wait till that's done. So
Same.
we
Man.
could just walk down. I don't know, like.
Give me perception checks, both of you. Okay, that's a 22 from Garen and an 8 from Finn. As the two of you are kind of just standing there deliberating what you should do next, you see a group of children are running through the rain, and they appear to be bullying an adult. You see that he is dressed in these long robes, and he appears to be a middle-aged man. He's kind of like curled in on himself, trying to shoo the kids away. There's about 4 kids. They're pulling at his clothes and making fun of him. They are causing a bit of a commotion.
All right, Garen walks over and shouts at them. Back off, kids. It's enough. Get out of here.
Give me an intimidation check.
These rolls today. Oh my god.
They turn around, start making fun of you.
Right?
Where's your shadow, loser?
Oh yeah. Oh shit. I keep
Oh
forgetting.
yeah. Does Garen
The-
get advantage for the fact that he has no shadow?
Okay, that is pretty creepy. Okay, go ahead and roll me another intimidation check. You don't just get the automatic double. Okay, 13. Okay. Let's see. How sturdy are these kids? 10. Okay. So they stop and they look at you, Garen. Immediately you can tell that your lack of shadow is disturbing them. There is a quality, a flatness to your features. There is the way that the shadows seem to evade you that is a bit haunting. And they begin to whisper to each other in hushed tones. And suddenly they begin to break off. They move back about 10 feet, and one of them yells at you and says, "You must be a friend of a murderer then."
Garen doesn't even respond to him. Just ignores him.
One of them throws a rock at you, a very small rock. It just bounces off.
I was gonna say, Garen's gonna try to catch it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You catch it.
Nice.
Catches it and just tosses it off to the side.
You can see very quickly that the kids get bored and then they leave. As you're looking at this individual, you can see that he has in his hand, he's gripping a holy symbol. And he quickly shoves it away and turns towards you. This middle-aged man has, he has a balding head that is swooped to one side, and he has these large spectacles that sit on the bridge of his nose. He clears his throat and looks at you with some wariness. Your lack of shadow also creeps him out.
Garen doesn't care.
He looks at you, Finn.
And he'll Bent will approach and he'll go up to him and like go, "Are you all right? Seems like they are being little nasty buggers."
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. I appreciate the help. It would have been quite unsavory if I needed to cast a spell to dispel these children.
Yeah, it's probably not the best way of dealing with them.
Well, it's raining.
It is.
Yes.
What ails you, sir? He looks at you, Garen.
What do you mean?
There is an unusualness about you. Roll me a perception check. Finn, you can also roll a perception check. Okay, that's 22 from Garen and an 8 from Finn.
God.
Okay, Finn, you can't see this because it is very subtle, but Garen, you pick this up immediately. Again, his hand moves towards his robes for that holy symbol, and he is trying to hold it in your direction, almost as if holding it in between himself and you.
I mean you no harm. I do not know that I have any ailment.
Who might the two of you be?
I'm Garen. This is Finn. We are adventurers who have done some work here in town for the council.
Mhm.
Ah. He seems to visibly relax. He puts the symbol away and straightens a little bit. You can see that he's holding a very large satchel at his side, and it is quite bulky and uneven, almost as if it's been stuffed with many things. And he says, "My name is Master Refrum. I work in the Alchemist's Quarter.
Hmm.
I have heard about your endeavors. You must be the group of heroes that the council has been hiring."
We are indeed them.
Well, he waves his hand in the air, dismissing something, and he says, "It is raining."
Yes. Maybe I should get myself a hat to go with this coat to keep the rain off me better. Do you need any assistance, good sir, or no?
No, I'm fine. And he begins to walk away.
All right.
Hmm.
He's gone.
Most curious.
Yeah.
It is about now that you hear commotion behind you in the town hall. The doors open and you can see the various council members beginning to filter out. You see that they head in different directions. The only one that stops to look at you is Anders. And he raises his hand excitedly and comes up, putting both of his fists on his hips. "Hello, my friends."
Anders.
Hello, Anders.
I was hoping for a chance to speak with you.
Yes, that was quite a difficult conversation that we just had. I do believe that it is in the intention of the council to speak with you tomorrow, early in the day, if you are available.
I believe we can arrange that.
Yeah, we'll let the others know when we
Yes,
see them.
you and your entire party.
Yes.
Yeah, what's the mood of the council right now?
Oh. He rubs the back of his neck. You can tell visibly that he's a little nervous, a little anxious. He says, "It seems that we are to go to war. The Saltmarsh Council is, mixed feelings, certainly. There are some of us who do not wish to go to war, but find that we must push our hand."
Sometimes it's easier to deal with a threat before it becomes too big.
Yes, that is the opinion of some of the people, the council.
So I can see where they're coming from, because they did have, as we told you, there was a large number of people that were in the building when we did our job for you. So
As you're talking, you can see that there are people walking by, and they seem to slow down a little bit. They're watching you through the corners of their eyes.
Let us
yeah, let us go somewhere a
walk
little
and
more
talk.
private.
Oh, yes. We shouldn't stay out in the rain.
No.
Would you like to join me for some afternoon tea?
That sounds good.
I don't see the harm in it.
Excellent. You see that he pulls his hat out from underneath his arm. He fluffs his feather and he puts on this very extravagant cap. He begins to lead you towards your home. And it's about there that we reconvene with Arlen and Pole. You can see that there are 2 lizard folk that are strangers to you up on the roof, and they seem to be finishing up. You see a Locatha that is a stranger to you watering the garden in the rain.
They're both lizard folk.
On the roof, and then there's one fish person in the garden.
In Draconic, Finn will just say howdy there. Hope you're well.
Ah, you're the one that speaks Draconic.
yeah.
Finn, yeah, I knew somebody did.
I pointed like this and no one paid attention, so I
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's fine.
Okay. It seems to startle the 2 individuals. They finish up and they begin to clamber down. You can see quite easily that these individuals are very hardy people. As they stand in front of you, Finn, they speak back to you in Draconic, and they say, "We are very appreciative of this opportunity. Still hands have been an enemy to us. We are quite unsure what else is required of us." And that individual, they gesture vaguely towards Pole, promised coin to rain from the sky. We are uncertain when that would happen. Will it happen with the rain?
I think my friend and your conversation with him was a bit of a mistranslation. Because I don't know if unless he planned to hand you the coins from the roof, I don't think there's a way that the coins will fall from the sky. But rest assured, whatever money they are going to owe you, you will get.
Should we throw our coins from the rooftop?
No, do not do this. Do not do this. That'll be fine. And I'm looking around. Do I see Pole anywhere?
That's up to Pole and Arlen. It is raining heavily now. You can see that Anders is kind of itching around, trying to avoid getting wet as you've kind of paused. Anders says, "You know what, please, come to my home whenever you're ready." And he begins to run through the rain.
Yeah. Go ahead, Anders.
Going
Go.
to,
Yeah, go, Aaron or Garen. Go follow Anders. I'll join you in a little bit.
Yeah, they begin to head towards the Solmore home.
Paul's inside, probably mopping out, trying to get this place dry so that we can sleep there for the night.
Then I guess Finn will go inside, or Finn will go with the lizard person and find out where Pole is and.
Yeah, they begin to lead you inside, and so on the interior of this home, it is quite like the exterior. You do find that there is some old furniture strewn about. Most of it has been covered with cloth, and if you were to check underneath, it's in decent shape. It seems that this must have belonged to a merchant, a pretty wealthy, good-to-do merchant at some point. There are little bits of treasure here and there that give a measure of opulence that you wouldn't find at a seaside shack, right? So it's a little on the nice side. You find Pole with a mop. I think at this point, Tully might have also come up, and Tully also has a mop. It's taller than him, though.
We might be sword fighting with the mops.
They are sword fighting with the mops.
Pole, could you come here for a second after you?
Oh, and he'll
doing your
look
sword
like
fighting.
he's mopping again, very quickly.
It's fine.
They're
Tully
almost done
continues
here.
to fight you.
Stop it.
That's all right. If Tully was at a feature after my distraction, it doesn't count, so it's fine.
Tully wheels around and starts attacking you with the mop sword.
No, stop it. He'll grab it and he'll just shove it aside and be like, "Hold on, Tully. You can go back to sword fighting in a minute."
I'll get a cheap shot and then tell you while he's distracted.
He's like, oh, right in the balls. Oh. He falls over.
Good shot, Paul. Good job. So, um, you were talking with this lizard folk person, this nice person, and did you tell them that coins were going to rain from the sky?
Well, I can't actually speak their language, so no, I didn't tell them that, but I did sort of make a picture of, well, what I want the house to look like, and then I showed money. I guess it looked like it was coming from the sky, yeah. But I mean, it's not to be taken literally, It's like, I'm gonna pay them a lot of money, lots of it. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, all right then. That's all right. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't see the paper that you drew for them. Okay.
I'll show you, and I'll make it look like that.
Okay, cool. And then
Ding.
Finn will take the paper that Paul gives him, hands it over to the lizard folk.
No, it's not a paper. It's an illusion that I make in the air with.
Well
my
then,
lizard. Yeah.
Oh well, then Finn will bring over the lizard person and show them the illusion and explain to them in Draconic that the coin up here is the coin is just representation of all of the coin you'll be making. It's not falling from the sky. He was just trying to put the coin somewhere in the picture.
I understand. Thank you for the clarification. And you see that the lizard folk begin to move towards what is like a den in the living area, the main living area of your home, where they've kind of like shoved their stuff while they've been working, and they begin to like unfurl bedrolls, and they're making themselves comfortable in your living room.
All right. All right. So, Paul, you and Tully and Arland and anyone else who's here and the sword fighting and fun, I'm gonna go back with Garen and meet up with him real quick. But once he told me about the coins raining from the sky, I felt like I should fix that around. If there's any other, hopefully there won't be any more translation errors. But if there is anything else, just let me know, and I'll try and help.
All right, thanks, Finn. Your lifesaver.
I try. And so Finn will sort of tuck his head as much as he can under his cloak with the rain and run over to where Anders is with Garen.
Okay. While this is happening, Arlen, you have drawn the vizier.
I did draw a picture. Oh.
Ooh.
So you can ask any one question, and you'll get some clarification, some enlightenment for your question. What do you think that Arlen is doing? Where is she? What is she doing as she's having this reflective moment?
I think she's walking around the house, seeing what else might need to be repaired or worked on, and just thinking about this war. And if there was anything in particular that she could warn the council about that she forgot to warn them about to give them a bit of an advantage.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check at the same time.
I'm not very good at those. I'm very good at those, actually.
That's a 21. Okay, great. So you're kind of surveying the house and just checking out the old bones of this place. As you're going into what appears to be an abandoned study, you see that most of the books have been emptied out of the shelves. There's a desk, and it's been kind of like raided a bit. There's not much left. But you do find a loose floorboard. And you open it up and you check out what's inside. You find a bundle. It's wrapped in this sort of heavy terry cloth, and as you reveal it, it's pretty obviously some kind of a sword.
More cursed items?
Do you open the bundle?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. As you open up the bundle, you see that it has a pretty austere scabbard. It doesn't have a lot of detail on it. It's very functional and well made. When you pull it out of the scabbard, you can see that this is a short sword, and it seems to have an expert weight to it. You've held various weapons in your time, and you can tell that this is very well balanced. Whoever made this, they made this with great care. But it is mostly featureless. It looks like a really well-maintained sword, and that's it. But as you're like looking at this and then also ruminating, the most obvious thing, which I won't count towards your question, is like y'all lied to the council. So like the council's going in thinking they have that advantage. But
I'm thinking like, are there any weaknesses in particular that they have that I can tell the council to be sure to exploit, or do they have any secret weapons besides the big shark god that they were summoning that I should warn them about? Stuff like that.
yeah, you are pretty confident that your disruption of that ritual has put the group of you in significant advantage. That sort of thing takes a long time to prepare for, and you disrupted it and literally unsummoned the thing that was feeding and trying to gain power. You get the sense that it might be not that much of a problem. It sounds like the assault is going to be pretty soon, so you don't have to worry about that.
If there's not a good answer to that question, my other question is this short sword cursed?
Okay, I'll answer that one instead. Okay. As you're looking at this, you have had some experience with cursed weapons all this time. You are confident it is not cursed, but it's definitely magic.
Okay. Is KayBee around anywhere?
Yeah, KayBee just appears next to you. What's that, Captain? What did you find?
I just found this in the floorboards. Can you tell me? I think it's magic, but can you tell me what it is?
I absolutely can do that. And then he pulls out like a goggle and does the Spy Kids thing where it's like... And he does his artificer things and investigation. He probably rolls something really bananas.
I'm pretty sure he has identify.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he has like +10 or higher. So he rolls an 18. Yeah, he uses identify. You see him go about his motions of preparing the ritual, and he lays out all of his supplies. And just right there, express spell identifies it for you and says, Captain, this is a magical short sword. It seems to be created by a master crafter. I think that it's the equivalent of a short sword +1.
And I thank you very much.
And KayBee actually asks you if he can have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I give it to him.
Okay. Cool.
It's not cursed. Arlen's not interested.
Interesting. Okay, let me write that down. Very good. Yeah, so you go ahead and roll me another investigation check.
Okay. Strangely, there's another floorboard with a hidden cursed item.
I mean, maybe.
22, there we go.
All right, 22. Hold on, I can't.
That's the cursed item, DC audience.
Nah, you might as well. You're in the bones of this house, and there's some shit in it. You also drew the sun card, which is you gain a wondrous item.
Ooh.
Let's see what kind of a wondrous item.
Wondrous cursed item?
Maybe. Oh, this one's fun. This is one of my favorites. So you kind of rummage around and you get the sense that there's still something else inside. And you pull out what appears to be a ceramic jug. It sloshes around and seems to be about half full.
is this the jug that I can make just shit tons of mayonnaise?
Yeah. You can add an alchemy jug to your inventory.
Okay. I'll ask.
So you see this, like, it's like this red earthenware jug, and there is this band of blue, like dark blue ink that has been etched along the side of it. You see that between the two bands appears to be a very thin, precise painting of honeycombs. When you open it, there's honey inside.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a cursed jug of endless bees.
Wait,
Oh,
hold
it
on.
could be.
Oh no.
It could be.
Can I get
Ah.
KayBee to investigate this as well?
Yeah, he identifies it as an alchemy jug. So you can use an action to name one liquid from the table below to make it produce a liquid. Afterward, you can uncork it, and as another action, you can pour it out up to 2 gallons per minute. The maximum amount of the jug depends on the liquid. Once you start producing a liquid, it can't produce a different one until next dawn. So you got acid, basic poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, salt water, fresh water, and wine.
Nice.
Nice. Oh no.
I'm gonna have it make wine, a gallon of wine.
Okay. So you shake it and you say wine out loud, and you can see that the etching of the honeycomb, it begins to transform before your eyes, and it turns into what look like grapevines.
Oh, that's cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Is it good wine? I taste it.
1d20. It's all right. It's like $5 wine from the
Ah,
supermarket.
dang.
Like,
Okay.
it'll, with enough of it, you'll start to have fun, but
Yeah. It's
I
the
know-
cheap wine you drink later in the night.
yeah.
It's the kind where you press the button and the wine
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah.
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 Jug wine.
Yeah.
I know I'm not there, but I'm curious, what flavor is it?
Grape?
Yes.
Red as white.
Red.
Red.
It's
Is
the
it
flavor's
sparkling?
red.
The red, okay.
Yeah.
The red flavor.
I guess I should say what kind of wine, not what flavor, but
Cherry flavored wine.
It's not very good. Fun fact. Box wine in Australia is called goon, and the actual bag is called a goon sack, which is really funny to me.
It's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay, you can hear people downstairs.
All right, I'll go downstairs.
Okay. You can see that Finn rushes out the door. You see the lizard folk are starting to get comfortable. Garen's not there. Pole is standing there next to Tully, and they both have mops in their hands. And Pole, you see Arlen come down the stairs.
Hello, Captain, my captain.
Good to see you two working so hard.
Well, we want to sleep here tonight, and it's awful wet.
That's true. Did I miss anything?
Well, we had a bit of a misunderstanding with the lizard folk, but Finn speaks Draconic, so it all worked out. They know that they're working to get paid. They're sleeping here tonight, obviously, and everything is good. Hole in the
Great.
roof is already fixed.
Perfect. That's wonderful. Are Finn and Garen back already?
Yeah, they came back, but then they left again.
All right.
Wait, they didn't tell you what they were doing.
I
Oh no, we didn't.
did we not? No.
I mean, honestly, Garen paused long
I
enough.
really
for
wish
Finn to
that
start talking.
we have learned how things were going with them.
Garen
Maybe they
didn't
wrote a
think
note.
to do an update.
Whittleloo, whittleloo.
I guess maybe I didn't say anything. I just said I was heading out, didn't I? Huh.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah. Garen paused long enough for Finn to start talking in Draconic, and then continued on with Anders.
Okay, that's so funny. So we're gonna take a quick break here, and when we come back, Garen and Finn are gonna have tea in a really nice house where it's warm, where Arlen and Pole are gonna be like in a dirty house with mops. So
And
That's fine.
yummy wine.
Yeah. Hey, Garen said this is what he was doing.
Yeah. Okay, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Please join us in doing a stretch and grabbing a drink. We're back. So we open back up with Garen. You charge into the Solmore house behind Anders. And you are met with some comfort. There's immediately the warmth of a fire. A fireplace is in the atrium here as you step in. And you can see Garen kind of swooping forward, a towel tucked over his arm, intended for Anders only. And he seems to pause preemptively upon seeing you, and then continues and says, Master Solmore, here, let me dry you off. And he begins to help pat dry Anders. And Anders goes, thank you, Garen. Please, can you go fetch another towel for my friend here? He takes the towel and begins to help himself as Garen slinks away.
Garen tries, or deliberately doesn't watch Garen, but still pays attention to him out of, like, his peripheral vision.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Just because he really doesn't trust him.
Yeah. Okay, a 14. You can see that Garen goes around a corner, and you hear his footsteps disappear earlier than you would think. The halls of this home are pretty open, so the footsteps would ring quite a bit. He seems to be very light-footed.
Oh, yes, the council, you said, seems frustrated.
Oh, yes. I don't quite know if it's my place to speak on everyone's opinion. I'm sure that they will share during the meeting tomorrow, but I'm certain that it will all come to an agreeable expectation, maybe?
Good. I just want to know if we want to tread carefully or not with them.
Oh? Why would we do that? And just as he says that, Garen appears almost soundlessly and holds a towel out to you.
Garen takes it and dries his face and his hands. I remember his coat was oiled, so it's probably sheet, just water. Just comes right off of it easily, and he doesn't worry too much about that. Well, no, I don't mean... Well, I mean how carefully we should be talking to the council.
Roll me an insight check.
Great. Yeah, Garen's not great at that.
11. Even with an 11, you know Anders well enough that he is young and naive. Any kind of subterfuge in the council, that is beyond him. He's not really practiced in it. He seems a little confused at this, and he says, well, I'm not sure. I suppose I never really thought about that. The council likes you. Your party. I don't think there's any reason to need to be careful. I trust the council. My fellow council members are all upstanding people. They help.
Good. That helps. So, let's have some tea.
Yes.
Share your thoughts with me.
Garen, please. And he begins to lead you into the study. And a few minutes later, Finn, you come up and Garen opens the door. You see that he has a mop in hand, and he seems to be mopping the entrance. He looks you up and down. What business have you at House Solmore?
I had to help with something. I was with Garen.
Ah, you are with Garen, yes.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a step back, allowing you to pass through.
Appreciate it, thank you. And then would Finn know where they went? Like, is it?
No, as you step into the atrium, you hear the door close behind you. Garen takes a slinking step towards you. He looks you up and down visibly. This crane of a man, he is bone thin. His hair is slicked back and greasy. As he's looking you up and down, he says, you're sopping wet. Wait a moment.
Yes, sir.
And soundlessly, he goes around a corner and disappears. You're standing in the atrium by yourself. You can feel the warmth of a nearby fireplace beginning to wash over you, so it does bring some measure of comfort. You can hear the rain outside. And this is a nice home. You see on the side, on the wall there, is a family portrait. Very clearly a young Anders and his parents. You remember that his parents died from a mysterious accident.
I think Finn kind of looks at the painting and sort of kind of feels for Anders, given that he has a similar situation. Kind of brings flashbacks to his own missing parents as well, and just kind of looks at it and gets as close as he can, I guess. Like he kind of wants to stay in the same spot, not to trek water everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But get as close enough to the warmth of the fire as he can.
Okay. As you are moving closer to the fire and you stare into it, you could swear that it almost seems to reach out at you. But you kind of blink it away and it's just a regular fire. Very quickly, Garen reappears. He gives you the towel and he gestures towards a hallway and says, once you have properly dried yourself, make your way to the study. You will find your companion is waiting with Master Anders.
And Finn will try and dry off properly, get as much as he can. He looks at him and looks around to see if there's like a coat hanger or something he can kind of put this on. He doesn't want to just leave it on the ground.
You see Garen kind of pinch it from your grip and take it from you.
Oh, thank you. It's they want to leave it on the ground. All right, and then he'll go and he'll meet up with where Garen and them are.
Okay. Garen, so Anders brings you into the study and you find that it is lavishly decorated. It is very comforting. You can tell almost immediately that this must be where Anders spends most of his time. There are piles of books that have been taken off the shelves, and your impression of the entire home up until this point is that everything has its spot. So seeing everything kind of disheveled and pulled out, it's very lived in. And you can see that there are a number of coats that are like thrown over like a sofa, the edge of a desk. So it's quite obvious that Anders is in and out of here. And he picks up said coat off of the couch and looks around and just tosses it on the floor and sits down. Please join me. We'll have Garen bring us some tea soon. Do you have a particular brew that you like? I do have quite the collection.
I'm partial to Earl Grey.
Oh, yes. I do believe that we have it. Gellin was insistent that I purchase one of these sets of teas, and I've been enjoying it. There's a lot of variety with it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes. So, what did you want to speak about?
Oh, you always want me to tell my stories. Why don't you tell me some of yours? Tell me some of what goes on with you.
Oh, I would certainly love to. And he begins to tell you a bit about his childhood, how his family, they own a number of ships and they've played a pretty prominent role here in Saltmarsh. Having ships is extremely important in these parts. Its wealth, its power, its influence. And from the way that he frames it, it's obvious that he's regurgitating information that's been given to him, that he's been taught. And there's a clear inexpertise. He's very young. And you also remember from the rumors that he lost his parents very suddenly. So he only knows what he's been taught. He hasn't really had a lot of experience, but he seems to be doing decently. It's about the time where he begins to switch the conversation about what he wanted to be when he grew up, that the door opens and Finn enters. Ah, Finn, welcome.
Hello, sorry about that. I had to square away a thing or two that was going on with the lizard folk over there, and everything's good now. So
Oh, tell me everything, please. Have a seat.
not a lot to tell. Either Paul or Arlen, don't know which, wasn't there, hired these fine lizard folk to do a job, and when Paul explained and did a drawing of how he wanted everything to be done, because neither of them spoke Draconic, the drawing made it look like there was going to be money raining from the sky. So I had to help mistranslate that.
It wasn't a drawing. It was an illusion.
Oh, illusion. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I
it's
keep.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
That's Jacob, not Finn. So an illusion.
Mhm.
And then at the very top, he didn't know where to put the money. Put it on the top, made it look like it was raining. All that fun jazz. So we got that squared away, and looking like that house is after a little bit of repair, looks like it'll be a nice place.
Oh, so we're neighbors now. And
we are neighbors.
He gives a warm pat on your arm, and it's then that Garen kind of pokes his head in, and Anders gestures for some tea, and Garen slinks out. And Anders will essentially begin small talk, telling you of the history of that house. He tells you that it used to be owned by a merchant sailor, an adventurer actually, who would go out and find all sorts of things on various islands that are scattered along the coast. And he tells you that no one knows what happened to this adventurer. They just disappeared one day. And after the house being unoccupied for some time, the council just reclaimed it. And it's been empty ever since.
Makes sense.
That is interesting.
I wonder, Garen, if there's any leftover treasures in that house.
Oh, that's quite possible. But I would warn you, some people say that it's haunted.
So you gave us a possibly haunted house.
Oh, I
Wouldn't be the
didn't
first.
choose the house. If it was well, I suppose that is the nicest house available, now that I think about it.
And honestly, Finn, it's not the first ghost we've encountered, so.
No, I find it funny that we.
Oh, you've seen a ghost?
Oh, did I neglect to tell you that story?
Oh, please. He takes a sip.
You
Tell me
tell it,
everything.
Garen. You're better telling that story than I am, Garen. You go
Yeah,
for it.
so we'll like kind of montage this. And,
Yeah. Tells the story about us fighting the ghost on the island off the pier.
He puts the cup down and looks a little pale. Oh, I've heard stories about that place. You know, there's a legend that a mermaid was captured and was bound with magic. And the mermaid would sing their song, and it was with this song that all of the fish of Saltmarsh would come. Did you happen to fight the ghost before all of the fish disappeared in Saltmarsh?
Oh,
I don't.
the fish were
I think they
already
were-
missing when
yeah, I
you
think they
encountered
were-
the ghost.
Yeah, if I recall
Nice.
right, yeah, I think they were already missing.
It was shortly after
Oh.
this that they came back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
It's just a
yeah.
story. Interesting. He looks very thoughtful and distantly as he sips his tea. Oh. Anyway, he goes on to ask you about how your adventures were. He begins to make small talk. Is there anything that you want to talk to him about in specific?
No. No, Garen was hoping he might have insight that he doesn't, sadly.
Yeah, you mostly glean that Anders is very surface level with this whole situation. He will admit that he's nervous about the war, and he thinks that, you know, a lot of people are probably going to die on both sides, and it's dangerous, and maybe it's unnecessary, but people in the council are saying that it is, and he's having a hard time deciding which way. And let me get insight checks from both of you.
Alright. Garen would also float the idea. Wow, I am not rolling well.
That's a
today.
9 from Garen and a 15 from Finn. So, Garen, it's a little bit hard to really pick up the nuances in this, but Finn, you're able to pick up that Anders is relying very heavily off of the expertise and experience of Ida Oland. He seems to trust her quite a bit. And Ida is the head of the council. She is from one of the oldest families that live here in Saltmarsh. So she's a traditionalist.
So then do you remember what her stance was on the whole thing?
Oh.
Ida's.
She doesn't want to go to war at all, but I don't know. Galen has a point. Maybe it'll be good for business. Maybe not. I don't know. He sips his tea. You could tell he's very confused and uncertain.
Unfortunately, with war, there really is never a good or a good or bad answer. Honestly, I've always looked at war as a little bit unnecessary, but I think
Sometimes it is.
well, and I think in this particular instance, from the way that we gathered everything, it does seem like if we just were to sit there and ignore it, that eventually the war would be here in Saltmarsh instead of somewhere else.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
So
Oh.
that's probably the preemptive. My best guess. I could be wrong. They could be happy in their little swampland that they have now and they don't want to explore anymore. But a lot of people who tend to take things and gather land, they like to just get more and more and more land until they're the dominant power, as it were. At least my research has told me that with a couple of different monsters
Well,
and
it
creatures
is
and such.
true. The Sahagin have forced the Lokatha, the merfolk, all of the displaced people here. It is because of the Sahagin, which is why
That brings
the alliances were possible.
Then
And-
that might even give more credence to them just taking as much as they can.
Yeah, and
So-
Hmm.
what I've observed of them while we were in their fortress, they have a stringent hierarchy, and that is usually enforced with fear. They are people of dominance.
Mhm.
They always want more.
Oh, fear. That is very, very interesting. Do you think there is a way that we can use it against them?
Hmm.
There's a quiet moment as the three of you sip your tea. Garen abruptly comes in after some time and says, Master Solmor, it is time for your appointment. Ah, I'm sorry, friends. I forgot completely. I must take this call. It is
Yep.
business, of course. But
Yes,
please
of course.
enjoy your tea. Enjoy the cakes. Take your time. Make yourselves comfortable.
Mhm.
And I hope to see you bright and early tomorrow.
We'll be there. We'll let everyone know.
Indeed.
And he dips out, leaving the two of you alone in the study.
Garen would pick up one of the cakes and kind of munch on it.
Finn will, after he leaves the room, slap his hand on the table and go, "I was right there with Paul. I could have told him. Damn it." Oh well. And then he'll
Mhm.
also start munching on some of the cakes.
Yeah.
Okay. They're very delicious.
I think
Well-
he has a point. There might be something we can do. I don't know what. Without
I mean-
participating in the fight directly.
I mean, maybe I would say maybe our reputation might scare them off, but do they even
No.
know it?
Not in a war, no.
No.
But again, with such a stringent hierarchy, it's usually chaos when their leadership falls.
Mm-hmm. Suppose maybe we could do something about it ourselves with some of the
Mm.
hierarchy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe take the head off the snake, as it were. But
Hmm.
well, that's a thought for the rest of the party.
Yeah, let's not speculate without the rest of the
Yes.
party wanting to do such.
And I still want to talk with Fireborn if you want to go back and let the rest of them know what we have found out.
Sure, if you don't want me to join, I can go back and let them know and tell them about the meeting that's early in the morning and such.
Yes. And
Okay.
Garen would eat the last of his cake and then drink the tea and out the door.
All right. So, Finn, you go back to your home.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do, you find Arlen and Pole. It seems that Tully has given up on cleaning. And
For one, I am shocked.
actually has a very long paper in his hand. And he appears to have struck a conversation with Arlen and Pole. And he says, All right, so this party that we're having
Mm-hmm.
tonight at the snapping line,
Mm-hmm.
what are we going to do about entertainment? And that's when Finn walks in.
Entertainment at the party at the snapping line tonight. What a question. Did you have ideas that you were trying to propose?
Yes. And he turns the paper around and shows you that he's drawn a bunch of really crude drawings and there are no words on it whatsoever. And they're basically like stick figures. Tully is not an artist. And it seems he's like explaining what they're doing. This is a dance that requires 20 people to be synchronized at every moment. Very exciting.
All right, but
Hmm.
This one has something to do with barrels. We're going to need so many barrels. And also, we shouldn't invite Jeff to this game. No, it would be very bad. And then, do you know where we can get frogs?
All right. So
Um,
I don't think everyone will probably know the dance that's going.
Oh, and then he like kind of pulls up the paper. I've illustrated the steps for the dance on the bottom here.
Oh, maybe I can help. I'll make an illusion of it, and so people can see it in real life. Hey, well, not real life. What, you know what I mean. And
Yeah,
then
yeah. He holds up
I'll
the
get
paper.
right into it. I'll try and figure out what his dance is.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and roll me performance at advantage here.
All right.
Okay, 21. All right, so you make a very good illusion. Let me get an investigation check here to see if you can interpret his stick drawings. 17. Okay, great. Yeah, you're able to pretty much nail it, right? And it's like medieval electric slide, basically.
Oh, this is a little bit like Round the Bay. I can play that song too.
Oh, yes. And as you are pulling out your instrument and conjuring the illusion, Tully is just cackling and he's like jumping up and down. He's like, yes, you've got it. See, Captain? Just like this.
Does it look complicated? Do I think realistically people will be able to do this dance?
Not well, but it's very clearly one of those dances where it's like, it's okay if you're drunk and you suck. It's gonna probably be fun.
Okay. All right. Here's the plan. We'll have some musicians playing throughout the night. People can dance and have fun.
Yeah.
And then at the apex of the night, we'll play this song and get everyone to do this dance.
Got it. You're the best, Captain. And he like salutes you. He begins
Aye,
rolling
aye,
up
sir.
this paper. And oh, hey Finn,
hello.
you missed the dance.
No, I was here. I just didn't want to interrupt. I saw the whole thing.
You're a good man, Finn.
Okay, so was just talking with Fireborn. I guess the council's gonna have some kind of big meeting tomorrow morning, and they want us to be there.
All right. What else did we learn?
He's just very, very 50-50 on the whole war thing, more or less.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Have we decided rooms yet?
No.
Paul totally has, and he's already put his
Oh.
stuff there.
Oh, okay.
And Tully's.
Okay, so as I was prepping for this session today, I was like, I really need to like make a map of this house. That way we can have fun and like customize it. But I ran out of time and I didn't have time to do it. So next session, we're totally gonna pick rooms.
Okay.
They're
All right,
all gonna be
awesome.
like unique and have fun stuff in them.
We'll pick rooms after the party tonight.
I was gonna say, it's been raining and
Yeah.
such and whatever.
Get
Yeah.
your priorities right, Finn. This is gonna be the party of the century.
Yes,
Rooms. As if.
And Paul's already started, by the way, because we already ordered beer for the workers, and they weren't drinking it very fast.
So,
What time of day is it now? Is it like getting to be nighttime when the party's like
yeah, it's like
about to
5
start?
p.m. now, we'll say.
Okay.
Party's in like 2 hours.
All right, let's head over there just to make sure everything is set up and get any last minute adjustments that need to be made.
That should be good.
Last one there is a rotten owlbear poop. Tully throws this long scroll at Pole and then just starts scrambling and running into the rain.
I'll run after him.
All right, give me an acrobatics or athletics check.
Oh no.
You rolled a 15.
Oh.
Pole rolls
No.
a 5.
Too slippery
Too slippery.
and drunk.
Yes.
Been wet outside.
Okay, Arlen and Finn, you are in the house still with the lizard folk who have kind of curled up and started sleeping in the corner of your living room.
All right, I'm just gonna start heading there.
Okay, great. So as the group of you begin to head towards the snapping line, Garen, you are making your way through Saltmarsh. It would probably make a lot of sense that Fireborn would head towards the barracks or the Wicker Goat. You haven't really seen him go towards the snapping line. Especially because the Wicker Goat is literally right across from the barracks.
Right. And, I'm not sure if Garen would pass through or close enough to the market to make a detour and pick up like a leather hat to keep the rain off of his face.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. You totally do, because the path would be would be going like this. You actually cross over the bridge too. Okay, 19. Yeah, you make your way through the market and there is a tailor. You know that this is the tailor that made the mast and the cloaks that KayBee ordered. With the sea lily emblazoned on it. As you enter in, they don't recognize you, but they say, "Come on in, please. Have a look at the various wares." With a 19, you're able to see that they have pretty well-made pieces here. They have some velvet hats, they have some leather hats, they have some made out of some questionable material, you're not quite sure. But most of them are going to be on the frilly and fun side.
Oh, he's looking more functional and water resistant.
Okay.
It's probably leather. Is
Yeah.
where he's gravitating.
You pull a leather hat off of one of the mannequins, and it's very clearly like a pirate hat.
No.
It's got character. It's like got that Corsair tricorn vibe to it. It'll definitely keep the rain off your face, and it's definitely waterproof.
Yeah, but Garen likes being nondescript.
Yeah. Pirate hats are pretty nondescript in Saltmarsh. Maybe.
Well, yeah, I guess if they are.
You want to buy it? The person needs it. Do you want to buy it? Could put a feather in it. Got a pink one? A blue one? Black one?
No feather.
Okay.
I just want something that doesn't stand out but keeps the rain off my face.
Well, if you wanted something a little less exciting, I would recommend you head over to the tanner.
Tanner? Alright.
But you would look fantastic in this hat. Goes well with the chiseled jawline. The sharp-eyed stare that you've got going on there.
Oh, does Garen want to let himself be influenced?
You want me to roll?
No. I thank you for the advice. I'll stop by the tanner.
Oh, but it's raining outside. You'll be dripping wet.
Garen looks at the puddle of water under him. I already am.
Okay. It's not my fault if you catch a cold.
Thank you.
You leave, yeah. On your way over towards the barracks, you head over to the tanner. That's where you commissioned the harness leash thing for Barnacus. You pick up a hat. You just have like a big old floppy leather hat.
Yeah.
You can just add that to your inventory. It's fine. And then you make your way over to the barracks. As you get to the barracks, you can see that even in the rain, it seems that even in the rain, there is an energy with the people that are training here. There are rows of soldiers that are moving in perfect unison, and it reminds you of your time in the army. This is a highly trained unit here. You see mud kind of flinging, rain rolling off of them as they are training, going through various drills. And at their head, you see Eleander Fireborn beginning to pace around them, stopping to address a specific soldier, fixing their posture, their form, and then continuing along.
Yeah, and I imagine it seeps into Garen where he was never really like stooping down or anything, but he starts standing straighter and his step becomes more measured and consistent as he's walking down and seeing this. And then he'd wait patiently for Fireborn to have a moment and see him.
You don't see at any point that Fireborn looks at you. His eyes are on the task in front of him. But as he's making his round about the group of soldiers, when he gets closest to you, he says, "Wern," without even looking at you, acknowledging you. "Can I help you?"
I was wondering if you had a few moments to speak.
He leans away from you, addresses the group, calls them to attention, and then dismisses them. And you can see that they begin to go about having a break here. Some of them run out of the rain. Some of them try to catch their breath in whatever shelter is nearby, overhangs and such. And here, standing in the rain, in this slightly muddy ground, he turns towards you. You can hear the gravel crunching underneath his one boot and underneath the wood of his peg leg. And he says, "Yes."
I'm wondering what you feel, or how well prepared you feel your forces are to face the enemy.
There are a number of factors that we do need to consider. They will be detailed in the morning. I do not think it's appropriate for me to speak on them here in this place at this time. However,
Good.
I am confident. The people here, even beyond the king's men, they are ready.
The king has sent some forces to aid.
Yes, a whole regiment. We should be about 95 strong.
And does that include the allies or no?
Yes, and it includes you.
My companions and I are still debating on our involvement.
Roll me a perception check. Or an insight check. Your perception's way better.
Yes, it is. Oh.
Okay, a 6 insight. All right. You can tell that Eleander Fireborn stiffens, but you can't read him. He's a person of position, a person who commands people. You know, even now, in this kind of casual conversation that the two of you are having in the training yard, it's very obvious that he's aware that people are watching, people are listening.
Right.
He's got to set an example.
And
And you see him doing that right now. He's leading. He's
Right.
commanding a presence.
if you feel our involvement is needed, I will pass that along to my companions. That may make a difference on our decision.
You will be there at the briefing in the morning.
We will be.
Very good. If nothing else, you are dismissed.
Understood. Garen, probably despite himself, would do an about face and head off.
As you're heading off, you hear him call out a fall in, and all of the various troops begin to go into rank again. Where do you want to go now?
Oh, I think he would probably head back to the house, which everybody's already gone to the snapping line.
There's this kind of like little awkward moment here as you enter into the house and the only people in the house are the lizard folk and they're sleeping.
And he turns around and figures they've already headed to the snapping line.
All right. As you move into the snapping line, I think this will be a good time for us to end the session. So we'll start off the next session with a party, and then y'all potentially going to this meeting hungover.
Yay.
Potentially going to this meeting, for sure. Paul almost never
wow.
makes to whatever he's doing
Oh
the
my
next day.
That's true. That's canon. There have been a few
Yeah.
times where, like, you can't even find the boat.
Yeah. I mean, how many times has he gotten the void card during a party and he wakes up on the beach somewhere?
That's true.
Oh, man. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for another episode of Secrets of Saltmarsh. Thank you so much, chat, for being here. Thank you so much to everyone who's watching this on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you are new here and you liked what you see, a free way that you can support the channel is to give us a follow. That way you get notifications for when we go live and when we upload to our YouTube. We're going to go around now and do some outros. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of today's episode was. And we'll start with Zombie.
Hello, I'm Jacob. I'm Zombie. I'm Z. Or the names to call me. I'm the lore keeper and Captain Z of the Good Ship Clip. I probably do 2-minute clips. That's up to your own discretion. Today I played Finn, and honestly, as always, I think seems to be a highlight every time and anytime we get it is anything to do with Pull and Tully. They have a very fun dynamic that I really enjoy. I did like out of the two moments, I think I liked the sword fighting one a little bit more, only because of the spontaneity of it, of like, there's just like going at it, I try to interrupt it, Pole gets hit, and then I get hit, and then Pole just hits him in the balls and it's over. And it's just great. I love it so much.
Tully.
Very much. And I love him so much. If you're so inclined, you can find me on Twitter at ZombieFighter89. I'm on every social, Blue Sky, all of them. ZombieFighter89. More specifically on Twitter, there's a pinned tweet, and that business card was made by the lovely Lady May. I am doing video editing, audio editing, Twitch clipping, if that is anything you're interested in. I'm just starting to figure out my business model a little bit with everything. But hey, I'm open to pay hired if you have a VOD that you want to have edit, both on Twitch and on YouTube. There is a clipping mechanism for YouTube. So I'm good with either one.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We'll hop on over to John.
Hey, I'm John, aka Endicarus. You can find me on all the social media under that name. And yeah, if you like playing indie games, go and check out my itch site. I've got a bunch of them there, and in particular, I'll point you towards Law of the Jungle. I last week made people at my work play this game as a work function, and it was super fun. So you should go and do that too. Make people at work play it. It's great.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. It's you play people who are raised by animals, just sort of like the classic Tarzan and Mowgli from the Jungle Book. Except it can be anything. You could be raised by piranhas or mosquitoes if you wanted to be. It doesn't matter. And yeah, you have to speak only in monosyllables, or else the jungle gets mad at you and you lose jungle points and maybe even health points. And it can be very dangerous. But yeah, it's mostly about the fun of trying to communicate with a severe handicap on the way you can communicate and play a whole role-playing game that way. So yeah, that's pretty fun. My favorite moment of tonight's game, there were a lot of great moments, but I'm gonna take it to almost the last thing that happened. I really liked Garen having to interact with military people. We've known for a while that Garen's a former military person and left it with a sour taste in his mouth, to say the least. And him having to deal with it and doing his best to stay apart from it, but yet getting pulled back in by that habit, that regimented habit. I thought that was beautiful. Well done.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next we have GodfatherWraith.
Hi, I'm GodfatherWraith. I really have no social media presence, so you really can only find me here in Stella's chat or various other members of the community that do streams and on Discord. I would say I agree with Finn or with Zombie that my favorite part was the mop sword fighting. That was so much fun.
I love how like spontaneous it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. I think that's what made it so great.
It was so funny because it was like Pole's cleaning, right? And then I was like, oh, Tully's there. And it's like Pole's not cleaning then.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It was perfect.
Excellent.
It honestly felt very real.
Yeah. That was definitely like a slice of life moment there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. GeekDice, unfortunately, was not able to join us, but hopefully you'll be able to join us next time. And then last but certainly not least, we've got Emma Panada, not Emma Panda.
Hi, it's me, Emma Panada, not Emma Panda. You can find me on Twitch or Twitter at Emma Panada, not Emma Panda. I'm also writing a TTRPG called All the Witches, not Emma Panda. You can find information about that at allthewitches_ on twitter.com, not Emma Panda. Or on Blue Sky, you can find us at All the Witches, not Emma Panda. My favorite part of the session was when they were going through the dancing and he had like a really cute drawing that was really terrible, and Pole was able to figure it out and get the steps made, and now we're gonna have a cool synchronized dance.
Yeah. I like to think at this point, like, Pole, it's pretty obvious that Pole and Tully are like best friends.
Oh, absolutely.
And Pole is fluent in Tully now. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I'm Stud Luna. I've been your game master and host for today. I really appreciate everyone being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. We will see you not next week, but the week after. Thank you so much for being here. Goodbye and good night. And thank you to all of our Patreons. Woo!